Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Trade Talks podcast. Today, we're going to be continuing our conversation on import business, how to start, and the whole process involved. My name is Taye Kadri, your regular anchor for the Trade Talk podcast, and with me, I have Dr. Bamidele Ayimbo, also known as the Export Doctor, who is here to give his expert insight on the questions we have for today.
All right, let's start.
Following from our previous discussions, today the first question here is on logistics. What are the key logistics involved in importing goods, and how can the supply chain be optimized by an importer?
Key logistics, in moving the goods, generally, you can move by road, you can move by sea, you can move by air, you can move by rail, you can move through pipeline, generally. But for those watching us, if you're in Africa, particularly Nigeria, for Nigeria, it's mainly by road, by air, and by sea. Mainly by road, by air, and by sea. Pipeline is non-existent, rail is non-existent. In terms of moving in Nigeria, they are not in existence. So what you now have to do is to look at which one best suits you. Shipping by air can be deceptively cheap. Sometimes people think it by air is expensive. It can be deceptively cheap, but it's cheap in the sense that you can actually be profitable shipping by air because air allows you to be able to do more cycle within a short time. So if I'm bringing stuff into Nigeria, for example, and I can finish selling within a week, if I'm shipping that thing by sea and it's going to take about 6 weeks to 8 weeks to arrive, that's about 8 weeks, right? But I can bring it in within a week and finish selling it within a week. That's 2 weeks. That means in a month, I will have done 2 cycles. The same thing I'm maybe bringing by sea that will get here in 2 months, that might not take how many months to sell. I might be able to bring that same thing in by air and I will be able to finish selling within a week. So in 2 weeks, I'm through with the cycle. In 4 weeks, I'm done 2 cycles. Now, even though my profit might be low because I use air, but at the end of 4 cycles, because I will do 4 cycles before this good arrive, I might have been able to go beyond, as in be more profitable than I will have been able to serve more customers and be more profitable than what would have been if I'm going by sea. So it's good an individual check. Don't just assume because it's air to be expensive. Of course, it will be expensive. To not be profitable, check the profit and check the cycle. If your product is such that you can finish selling on time. If it's a product, the demand is huge, and bring in product and wholesaler will take it off from me within a week. Instead of keeping them queuing up, because immediately you leave that gap open, people are waiting every time. Someone else will take over that market from you. So even if it's 5% you are making, and that means in a month you can make 10% due to cycle. In 2 months you can make 20%. So at the end of the day, you're actually better off going by air. So those are the analysis I feel an importer needs to do, even an exporter, to check and be able to know, is this thing profitable for me by air? Generally by sea is okay. The only challenge with sea is that it takes a long time. Okay. But sea is cheaper, and of course, it can carry large volume.
Okay. So how can importers reduce the risks of delays or damage to goods during shipping?
Risks of delays. Monitoring. Understand the process from beginning to the end. Know where the critical control points are, where things can go wrong, and monitor at every point in time. If I'm a business and I do a lot of imports, someone must be in charge that the only job he has is KPI is to ensure there's no delay. It's keep performance together delay. Big organizations have that. That's why they really pay the money. So monitoring. Now you talk about delay and what? Read the question again.
Delays and damage.
Damage is easy. Insurance. But don't be careless. Insurance does not insure carelessness and they don't insure negligence. So for example, a very common example I like to use, someone was importing oporoko into Nigeria, fish head. Stockfish. The head, bring it to Nigeria from Norway. The tempest was raging, the water was splashing on the container. If you have seen this thing before, the ship will literally be bouncing as if you want to capsize. So the water seeped through the container, went through the door, entered the container. Some of the water on the carton was not waterproof carton. So the water penetrated, touched some of the stockfish, and the fish began to rotten. By the time they get to Nigeria, they open the container, it was smelling. Insurance will not protect them because you should use a carton that if you are going to import an item that is that can be damaged by water, you know you're going on the sea. You don't need a prophet to tell you that you need to use a waterproof carton. So you need when you are insuring, there are three levels of insurance. There's clause C, clause B, and clause A. Clause C is the lowest. It covers issue that has to do with the ship. Ship had issue, ship got damaged, ship ran aground, issue that has to do with the ship. Clause B cover all that sea cover plus any natural disaster on the sea. Earthquake, tsunami, typhoon, all the hurricane, any issue that can happen on the sea. Natural disaster. But clause A cover all that B and C cover plus all risk, but it doesn't cover negligence. It doesn't cover, it has exclusion clauses. Sometimes it doesn't cover terrorism or pirate. So you might have to get another insurance to cover some of those things. But highest level that is recommended you consider is clause A.
Why doesn't it cover terrorism? Because that's not your.
So shipping line have different levels of insurance. So they have an insurance clause A. They define what it covers. Okay, if you need additional coverage because of the peculiarity of that area, okay, you pay extra for your area. Someone else going somewhere else will not pay. But you will pay because of the peculiarity of your area. And if you think it's a threat to you, you will pay. But it don't cover, it's like the level of cover determines the amount I pay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so which of import or export business is more capital intensive?
No.
And which is more lucrative?
No. Both of them are capital intensive. So depending on the volume you are looking at. Okay. But in terms of being lucrative, I think import is more lucrative because import is easy. You know, it's just like all you need in Nigeria. If you have the money, you've seen the market, bring in the goods, get a good marketing company to market it for you, you will sell. And set up your distribution channel, you sell. It's a lot easier because the reason why import is a lot easier, you are not, particularly when you are importing finished goods, you are not going to have to deal with a lot of issues that has to do with production and manufacturing. So the chance, but because of exchange rate issue today, it has flipped. So export now are a lot better and more profitable because if I'm manufacturing in Nigeria today and I'm exporting my product, I can make 50 to 100% because of exchange rate. I can make 50. That's why even if power is high, petrol is 2,000, diesel is, people will still make profit. Why? Because of exchange rate. You know, what is driving the diesel price to go up is the same thing driving exchange rate. So if diesel go up, that means my exchange rate will go up when I sell also. So I'll still make more money at the end of the day. So today, I have friends that are into production and they're making so much money. In fact, sometimes they'll be waiting, looking for the thing to go up.
So, sir, you would recommend or you suggest that someone who is considering import business should also consider export business?
Any business you do in Nigeria today or in African country where they have issue with forex and you have obligation to meet in forex, it is very unwise to not export, to not earn in forex. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. In fact, it shows you are very, very ignorant. For you, and people are hoping that dollar will be better. They were hoping that hope is not a strategy now. You can't just keep hoping. There must be something you are doing. Because if you are hoping, because on what basis is dollar going to change? It's not going to change because we have not increased the volume of export we are doing. Until we increase the volume of export, then dollar rate. It's a law of demand and supply now. If Nigeria export a lot, we have a lot of dollar coming to Nigeria. So if demand for dollar in Nigeria is $2 billion, let's say $10 billion per month. But Nigerian import, non-oil export inflow is about $20 billion per month. It's easy now. There is abundant supply. Price will come crashing because people will offer different price to be able to sell off and be able to. Price will crash. So when the supply is more than the demand, price will crash. In today's Nigeria, the demand is more than the supply, and that's why the price is going up. The demand is more than the supply. As far as demand is not supply, that means people are willing to offer more to get for themselves so that others will not get because it's scarce. Yeah.
So we really need to focus on exports.
Yes.
So that we can earn FX. Okay, yes. That's fine. So what are the most important import regulations importers need to comply with?
Important import regulation. Do not bring stuff into Nigeria without opening for men. Ensure that the goods are not shipped before Formem is approved. Ensure that the documents being sent are not discrepant. The documents meet all the criteria in terms of required documentation and content of the document. And ensure that you are able to mitigate the risk of not getting rubbish. And how do you mitigate that? By doing pre-shipment inspection. Ensure a company like SGS Delivery do inspection of that goods before those goods are shipped to Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can importers ensure that their imported products meet local quality and safety standards?
How can they ensure that their imported products meet local quality
and safety standards?
Now, one of the things Nigeria has done, like NAFDAC, for NAFDAC to give you approval, they will go to the place you are going to be importing from to go and check and approve that the place is okay. For food and drug. For other products that are sun regulated, sun will send their rep to go and do inspection. If you do those inspections and certificates are issued and they are in order, then you won't have issue with local, because those inspections are done to ensure the item is in tandem in terms of quality with Nigerian. We have what we call Nigerian industrial standard to ensure it's in tandem with that Nigerian industrial standard.
So what are the consequences for non-compliance with import regulations?
Delay in clearing, demurrage, and in some cases, confiscation of the goods, loss of the goods altogether, because the demurrage can rise to a level that the value will not be more than the value of the goods, and the person will have to abandon everything at the end of the day.
Well, there's never a time that they have to go to prison for.
No, it's possible. If you import guns, you import bomb, you import
contraband.
If you import yes, now if you import contraband that has a threat to Nigeria, of course they can take it. The person might have to go to jail actually. But if you are importing item that is not illegal, only that you are not declaring, that you are violating the law, but you are really not, you are not, what you are importing is not a threat to Nigeria. You can just confiscate the goods and auction.
How possible is it for you to even import contraband products? Because you would have gone through the whole process of filling Form M and
No. Most people that okay, this one. When people that issue contraband, they don't declare it. You don't know. Okay.
So they just lie about it.
One of the major challenge custom face with import in Nigeria is on that declaration, or what we call concealment. Okay. So I'm bringing in goods. Look at what's in Nigeria. People, okay, you that want to import personal car, for example. So you're importing a personal car. Look what some people do. In the boot of the car, they pack so many different kenwa orishirishi inside the boot. They pack inside, pack in the bonnet, pack everywhere. So when you value what they pack, sometimes more than the value of the car. But they won't declare that, they will declare only the car. Yes, sir.
But they will inspect. They will not see all those things.
You know, when you've imported to a level and you're always compliant, consistent, they categorize you as authorized economic operator. So when your good coming to the port, they won't inspect you again. They won't. They just go through. So the like of Dangote, Nestle, Peace, all the big multinationals, because they import a lot and they're always compliant. They don't. So that's why those people don't have issues. The people that have issues, when you're importing for the first time, custom will do inspection. In fact, they move your stuff on red. Or when the documentation have back and forth, the law of correction back and forth, they'll move it on red or on yellow. Yellow means they will review the document. Red means they will do physical inspection or do scanning of the container to be sure what is inside. So it is during inspection that they discover some of these things. But sometimes they might not be able to dictate it. Sometimes. But most times they're able to dictate it.
So when they are not able to, is it that they've hidden those things with other things?
Yeah. So if I'm an authorized economic operator and I'm a terrorist financier, I can acquire a company, be a major shareholder in the company. Now, if I'm a shareholder there, I will influence what they are bringing in and tell them the way they should add to it and back. Because I'm a director, nobody question me. But I have ulterior motive now. That's why one of the major ways of curtailing money laundering and terrorist financing is when the ownership of a business change. Bank is very much cautious. Immediately you say you want to change signatory, they ask, who are these people? Oh, it's a new director. Who is he? They will go and check. Why? Because they know the implication of ownership. In fact, terrorist financiers money launderers like buying thriving business that have good name and hide under them for their illicit activities.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how can importers, especially new ones, create competitive pricing strategy for their products?
If you are bringing in such products into Nigeria as an importer, if you are going to be competitive, of course you have to have a strategy. You know what some people do is, if I'm coming into the market, I notice my competitor are selling at a particular price, and I want to beat them. This is what I will do. If I want to beat them, I will have a budget for promotion. That budget for promotion, I will use it to give discount. So this good should cost 10 naira. And if I'm selling, this good should cost 100, let's say this good should cost 10,000 naira. But let's say I want to bring in 1,000 units at 10,000 naira. That's about 10 million naira. Now, if I want to give a discount of 10%, that means I'm spending 1 million naira. 1 million naira. So what I can do is, I can have a budget of promotion of 10 million, of 1 million naira, of 10%. So of 10%, 1 million naira. The reason is this. Because when I give discount, sometimes I can give a discount that will be a loss. But because I've budgeted for promotion, that budget, which is supposed to be a cost, will cover that loss. What that means is that some businesses will deliberately sell at a loss to kill competitors. So you have to be strategic on what you want to do. Do you want to sell at a price that the competitor cannot bear? But it's not wise to start price war. I don't think it's wise. I don't like doing price war.
Like send out your competitors on the market.
I don't believe in competition. I don't believe in competition. I believe in co-opetition, where you can be cooperating and competing. That means, because there's room for everyone. There's room for everyone. I compete with myself. So what I'm doing before, I want to do it better. Keep doing it better. So if you are chasing me, you keep chasing now, because I'm not competing with you, I'm competing with myself. You know, I was at an event yesterday to speak. So someone saw me say, everywhere you are there. I know you'll be here, but is it only you? I smiled. I just laughed. He was hoping I would be there. And he's like, yeah, hoping this guy will be here, and he's here. I was talking the same program. I was talking to another person there, and I was supposed to do something for a particular bank, and the people in the bank, they have me there saying, is he the only one in the industry? Is he the only one in the industry? I'm not competing. So they want to get other people. I'm not competing with anybody. I'm competing with myself. Because I'm competing with myself, I'm always looking for how to get better. So I'm running the race alone. I don't need to compete with everybody, because there's room for everybody. If those people choose not to give me, I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered. What I just do is to ensure I remain relevant, such that you get to a point where you won't be able to ignore me. And sometimes those people there that don't want to give us the business, I'm not bothered. You know why? They are staff there now. They will leave one day now. Me, I will remain here. When they leave, someone else will see the value we're adding. So there's no point. So I don't think you should. I think you should look at how you can add value as much as possible, rather than worry so much about competition. Promote your product, sell the product, add value. See how you can make your product a lot better that will make some people in the market to prefer yours. Okay. But don't be happy at killing other people's business. Don't be, because there's no point. Because quite frankly, there is a room for everyone. That's my belief, that you don't need to someone, okay, there's a very bad saying in Yoruba that say, I don't think so.
Oh, wow.
I don't think so. If I carry candle that I'm using to see, and you are in darkness, if I bring the candle and you light your own candle there, it doesn't reduce my light. And I will give you light, but it doesn't reduce. So why should I think?
Brightens the room more.
Do you understand? Why should I think you have to go down for me to go up? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't believe in that. I know some people do that, and I know people that have done that to me.
But you're still in the market.
No, not just in market. I'm still their friends. I'm still coming for them. I'm still, they still invite me for program. I go. Sometimes I just do like I didn't. It's not because if you have maligned me before, if you have done something to pull me down before, and you're inviting me again, and I knew about what you did, that means I'm relevant now. Maybe you didn't want to engage me before. Now you're engaging. That means I'm relevant. You say it's kudos to me. I will continue doing what I'm doing. Why should I? So that means you are making me indispensable to you, which is a good one for me. I just don't think that we should think more of competition. I think you should compete with yourself and see how you can be better. Find your unique selling point and sell it to the market. You'll find your own market. Okay. But you don't need to do that at the expense of others.
Okay. So what factors should be considered when determining profit margins for import business?
Basically cost. Okay, now the different ways, there are the pricing and cost specialists will talk about different kind of costs that people incur in business. But most of the time, what we deal with is direct cost. Most times, people will look at the direct cost. People don't look at the indirect cost. Let me give you an example. We're exporting now, right? And in this building, we have some of the products we want to export. But we are not charging warehousing for those products. But that's a cost. That's a cost. But we are not charging it. That's an indirect cost that we're supposed to charge. But because it's like I'm going to the port, I'm driving my car to the port. But I'm not charging for the cost. But if I enter both, I will have incurred that cost. So there are a lot of other cost businesses incur that we don't charge because they are indirect costs. Most of the people charge direct costs. I feel you should include the indirect cost. It helps you to have a global view of, is this business actually profitable? It's like someone starting a business and he doesn't pay himself because he said, because the business is just starting. He just pay yourself. That's what you make it know if the business is profitable. If you're not paying yourself, how do we know if it's profitable now? Yeah, that means the cost. You're supposed to pay yourself. You're not paying yourself. So that means you don't know the cost of the business is incurring. Now. You think you're profitable, whereas you're not profitable because you're not, and you're incurring your time, and you're not. So it's good to factor all that in. That gives you a global view of all the costs you're incurring, and then be able to know if you're profitable. That will not help you in your pricing at the end of the day to be able to become profitable afterwards. And that will let you know. So maybe you should not even do it and look for something else to do rather than do that.
Okay. So what are the key trends in global trade that new importers should be aware of?
Changes in regulation of different countries, changes in trade rules around the world, changes in dynamics of international trade. If you are sourcing from China, it's good. But be rest assured that businesses, manufacturers are moving from China to Southeast Asia. They are moving to India, they are moving to Malaysia, they are moving to Indonesia, they are moving to Vietnam because of the issues we have. Because of the issues we have in the past with this country, particularly with China because of COVID. So because relying on China alone is concentration risk, and that's a big challenge for a lot of businesses that happened during COVID. So now a lot of businesses are moving away from that. So you should be aware of that. Don't rely on one. Look at the trend. Sometimes you see that the demand for a particular product is coming from a particular country. So the production is growing there in a particular country and increasing in a particular country. You notice, just listen to the news, know what's happening. To also know what is happening, Israel, Iran, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis, the rebels, Houthis in Red Sea, all of them are creating a lot of issues from the world. You just must know what is going on in the world and situate it in your business. How does it affect your business so you can take the right action?
Okay. So how do free trade agreements and tariffs impact an import business?
It helps if I'm an importer and I'm importing from a country where and I get a free trade agreement, like Ghana, like Kenya, under AFCFTA. When I bring it into Nigeria, I won't pay duty. So leveraging on free trade agreement helped me to be more competitive, helped me to reduce my cost, helped me to be able to ensure my business is more profitable because I can import items. So in fact, currently, a lot of Nigerian businesses should begin to reward their supply chain. Reward their supply chain in the sense that many Nigerian businesses who are importing raw material from other countries around the world might now not become competitive if their competitors are able to import that same item from Africa where they won't pay duty when the good arrive in Nigeria. So reworking your supply chain so that you can say, okay, this item, can I begin to source it in Nigeria and is it going to be profitable for me? Particularly the fact that I'm not going to pay duty in Nigeria and can I get the right quality? If I can get the right quality and quantity, then I should work my supply chain and begin to source from Africa. And that will make me to leverage on the African Continental Free Trade Agreement.
Okay, thank you so much for the insight shared. I'm sure you've learned one or two things from today's discussions, and we hope to see you in the next episode of the podcast. Thank you so much for your time.
And bye-bye.